students, welcome back. Today we'll start with a new chapter and let me give you all a short introduction for the same chapter. Now we all know that we work daily, right? From the morning time you get up, you have all the different work which you have to do, maybe going to school, coming back from school, or doing your homework, going to play, and etc. And for the same thing you require something. What do you require? You require energy, and you get this energy from food, right? And food is very important for us to survive on earth. Now if you do not eat food properly, you may suffer from different diseases, or you can even suffer from malnutrition, right? And as a result, food is very necessary for us to survive. Okay, and we are now seeing that there are so many people who are coming under the malnutrition area, means they are having less amount of food. Okay, and there are very different places. You must be hearing that the farmers are committing suicides and so on, because the crops are not growing properly because of the rains and all the different reasons, right? You are seeing the poverty line of India is going higher and higher, right? For the same reason, we need to improve this food in such a way so that even the poor people as well as the rich people get the benefit of this. Okay, and we are going to study the same in the chapter Improvement in Food Resources. Let us first put down the points why we need to improve this food resources. Okay, but before doing that, let us see what are the different types of foods we eat. What do we eat daily? We eat rice, chapati, you may eat drink milk, right? You may have different cereals, pulses, you will have vegetables, fruits, and apart from this, there are few people who can have egg, meat, fish, and so on. So the food can be either majorly of plant, okay, which comes out from the plant, or they can be from animal. Now when I say improvement in food resources, I am going to either majorly doing the improvement in the plant or doing the improvement in the animal, so that the livestock which I am getting, okay, the outcome should be more. Let us put down the reasons why it is important to improve this food resources. The first point, because I just discussed to avoid this malnutrition, okay. Then you need to get food in such a way that it is available for the poor as well as rich, okay, available for poor people, that is in reasonable cost, and rich. You need to see that you are giving to the poor people in a proper cost, okay, reasonable cost, but it should not happen that the quality of the food is down. The quality should also be maintained. It may happen that you take 1 kg of rice and it consists of 70% carbohydrate, okay, and the same, and it is of 30 rupees kg, and the same is provided to a poor people which is 30 rupees kg, but it have only 10% carbohydrate. So it will not be that much beneficial to that person, right? So you need to give the same quantity and quality. That's why we need improvement in food resources, that is to maintain the quality and quantity. The another reason, just now I discussed, that it should be available at a reasonable cost, okay, it should be affordable by all. So you can even add, you can improve the food resource to get at a reasonable cost, okay. And the last and foremost thing, that is the poverty line should become what? It should decrease. The reason is, if you get food properly, the people will go out for work, they will get energy, they will go out for work. Many a times when the person is ill, he or she will take a off from the school or the office or wherever. Whenever even you get ill, you take a off from the school or the college or the classes and so on, right? So if the person is healthy, fit and fine, he'll be happier to work more. When he work more, he'll earn more, and as a result the poverty line will go down, okay. So that can also be a point to decrease the poverty. Okay. Now these are the ways, or these are the major things why we need to improve the food resource. Now let us see why it is important, or how can we improve this plant and animal food resources. Let us take the first one, okay, that is the plant. There are certain steps by which we improve this food resources, and nowadays the one which is in too much highlight is sustainable management. Okay. Now either I increase a food resource of plant or animal, but it should be done in a sustainable management. Okay, you all have studied this word already in your SS. What is sustainable management? When I talk about food production and sustainable management, I should produce the food in such a way that it is getting, the people over there in the present situation are getting the food in proper quantity and quality, as well as I am not endangering the future generation. Okay. Nowadays we are seeing that we are using all the resources in a very high quantity. Now because of that, what happens, the future generation, like fuel, majorly your fossil fuels, your coal, your petroleum, we are using in such way, even water, that we say that the future generation will have a endangering or a place where they will lack such resources, right? That's why we are saying that use alternate resources. Same way we need to do sustainable management of plant and animal resources, so that we get the food amount in such way that the present generation get proper amount of food in quantity as well as quality, and the future generation should not get endangered amount of food. Okay, it should not get endangered for the food resources. Now let us take the plant first. First one, crop variety improvement. The next one, crop production improvement. And the last one is crop protection improvement. Now in today's lecture we will be majorly focusing on the first two, or the first one, okay, crop variety improvement. Now when I say crop variety improvement, suppose you have got a land, you have got all the things you need. What do you need first? You need seeds. Okay, so when I say crop variety improvement, I am going to improve the seeds so that the variety of crop which I get will be different. Okay, let us see how the crop variety improvement can be done. Now majorly this crop variety improvement is done in India by breeding. Okay. Now what is breeding? Breeding is a way of enhancing the genotype of a plant. Okay, the gene of a plant is enhanced in such a way that it can genetically be improved. Okay, how it is, the genotype is enhanced by improving it genetically. Now the breeding of plant have 4 major steps, or majorly 3 steps, and the 4th one is the different way of breed. The first one is introduction. Okay, in this different seeds are collected and brought, whichever, like if I get a seed which can give me more amount of carbohydrate, I'll collect it. A seed which gives me more amount of protein, I'll collect it. The one which can grow in different temperature, I'll collect it. Okay, so introduction, where I collect the seeds. Then comes selection. In this step, I select the seed. After introduction, it may happen that there are different seeds which I do not want. I do not want to breed few things, okay, few characteristics I don't want to breed. So I'll grow all the seeds and see their characteristics and then select them. So introduction, may you collect the seeds. Here you grow and select them. Okay, and the last one is hybridization. Okay, now in this hybridization, what do? You take the two plants which you require, okay, or whichever characteristics you want in the next generation or the future generation, that is your progeny, and you cross them. Now we all know that plant undergoes sexual reproduction, right? So what will they do is, one plant which will be a male plant, the another one will be a female plant. So the anther from one will be deposited on the stigma of another, and then the seeds which come out will be your required progeny. Okay, so this is the cross between two desired plant. Okay, now whatever progeny or whatever seeds you get from this, you call it as a hybrid seed. Fine. Now for this hybridization, you know that the sexual reproduction will take place at its own pace, right? It will take place in the season which it is suitable for, that crossing. Now what the other way is, recombinant DNA technology. Okay, here what it is done is, the gene which is responsible, the actual gene, okay, that is the major blueprint which is responsible for that particular characteristics for which I am crossing the plant, is taken and then introduced in the another plant. So it takes less time. Okay, and here I do not allow to cross, but only introduction of gene. Okay, and such a plant is called as genetically modified plant. Why genetically modified plant? Because I am only incorporating the gene. Wherever I allow the cross to happen, it is called as a hybridized or hybrid seed or a hybridized seed. Okay, so this is the way by which I do crop variety improvement. The major way called as breeding. 3 steps: your introduction, where you collect the seeds from different way based on their different characteristics, then selection, where you grow and select the best characteristics, and hybridization, where you allow it to cross. Now there is another way, that is recombinant DNA technology, where you introduce the gene in the another seed, and such a seed or a plant is called genetically modified plant. Now let us see what are the different characteristics for which you will do plant breeding. Okay, this was the way by which you do breeding. Let us see the characteristics for which the breeding is carried out. Okay. The first characteristics for which a plant is breeded is higher yield. Okay. What is yield? It is the number of crops I get per area land, okay, per area of a land. If I have 1 acre land, in 1 acre land how much amount of crops I get. So if I can get a higher yield, okay, or if I can get a seed which gives me higher yield, for that I can do a breeding. So the first characteristics is higher yield. The second one is improved quality. Okay, improved quality of seed. Like if I say that the seed is more thicker, it is more heavier, or it consists of more amount of protein, it consists of more amount of carbohydrate, then the quality of the seed will improve. Why? Because the nutrient content of that particular seed is more. So the second thing for which, or the characteristics for which the breeding is done, is your improved quality. The next one is biotic and abiotic resistant. Okay, there are different factors which can come under the crop production. Okay, biotic factors like your rat, okay, your rodents, the pest which eats this crop, and the other ones abiotic like the drought, flood, etc. Okay, so the scientists are under a process to create such seeds which have biotic and abiotic resistance. So these things, whether a drought, flood, the pest, it have internally, they have the medicines for the pest, so the pests do not infect them. Okay, so the third characteristics for which you do breeding is biotic and abiotic resistance. Then you have desirable agronomics. Okay. Now why do we grow the plant? The farmers grow the plant to sell it. Okay, whatever crops they grow, they sell it. Okay, for example, the cotton fibers, if they are thin, they give less amount of money. And if you are having long and threads of the cotton fiber, then you get more amount of money. So the farmer will grow a crop which gives it more amount of money. So the fourth characteristics is desirable agronomics. Agronomics is nothing but agricultural related economics. Okay, so the fourth characteristics for which you do a plant breeding is desirable agronomics. Let us go to the fifth one. The fifth one is wider adaptability. Okay. Now what are adaptations? The way by which an organism get adjusted to the different types of temperature, the moisture, okay, the air content. Okay, these are the adaptation or organism take. Like we are adapted to a particular climate, right? So the crops also are adapted to a particular climate. Now the scientists are improving this crop improvement. The varieties are improved so that they get wider adaptability. That means the seed can be grown anywhere. Okay, and the last one is change in maturity duration. Now this change in maturity duration, we will enhance it by reading about your Kharif and Rabi crops. Okay, we all have studied about this Kharif crops and Rabi crops. What are these? The Rabi crops are the crops which are grown in which season? They are grown in October or November and harvested in March or April. Okay, and Kharif crops are ones which are grown in June, July and harvested in your October, or you can write September and October. Now if you see the harvesting and the growing time, it is very long. Okay, why are we harvesting over here? Because the crop gets mature. Okay, you get a proper length, size, shape of the crop, and that's why you harvest in such a long time. Now if the maturity duration is changed, the farmer can get, suppose it is taking, this one is taking 3 months or 6 months or 4 months, a particular crop is taking suppose 6 months. Okay, now if I change the maturity duration, it may happen that it is able to mature within 2 months. So what will happen? I can grow the same number of crop for many times, right? So for that reason, you can even go for change in maturity duration. Now there is 1 month which is missing over here, your May. So April, May and June, you grow another type of crop which are called as Z crops, and these are generally your melons. Okay, they are grown during this season. Okay, that is your April to June. Okay, so to reduce this duration, you have breeding done for change in maturity duration so that they can grow faster. So these are the different characteristics for which you will carry out breeding. Let us recapitulate. Your plant can be improved. The plant food resource can be improved by 3 ways. The first one is crop variety improvement, then crop production improvement, and then crop protection management. We studied today only the first one, crop variety improvement. It is generally done by breeding. Okay, and breeding have 3 steps: introduction, selection and hybridization. In introduction, you collect the seeds. Selection, you grow and select them based on the characteristics you want. And in hybridization, you cross the seed. The seed is called as a hybrid seed, whichever you got. The another way is recombinant DNA technology, where you introduce only the gene in the seed. And such a plant is called as a genetically modified plant. Now these are the characteristics for which we can do breeding. That is higher yield, improved quality, biotic and abiotic resistant, desirable agronomics, and wider adaptability. Last one, change in maturity duration. Based on the maturity, we have 2 types of major crops, that is the Kharif crop and Rabi crops. Kharif crops are grown in October and November, and They are harvested in March and April. This means what? They require winter season. Okay, and this your kharif crops are generally grown in June and July and harvested in September or October. That means they require water, the rainy season. Okay, your rice and all. Here you get maize. Example is maize. Okay, in the next lecture we will study about the crop production improvement. Fine. Thank you.
Hope this video increased your knowledge. For more such videos and a completely free educational content, log on to www.epathshala.org or visit our ePathshala YouTube channel. We have each and every question solved for maths, physics, chemistry and biology. So subscribe our channel, share with your friends, like our Facebook page and follow our Twitter handle for regular updates and important educational tips, and also win ePathshala goodies. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe this channel and enjoy the freedom of education.